Namaskar, this is Charu Srivastava from LetsMarry, and welcome to yet another episode of Two Tango. And today we have very special guest today, Mr. Jayant Krishna and Mrs. Bina Krishna, a couple who reflects a lot of resilience, being together, companionship, shared values, a couple which denotes power and poise together. This couple has influenced so many people across so many decades and strata of life, right from the marginalized people to people at the helm of affairs in the government, in the academic circles. This couple has influenced every walk of life through their excellence. So really happy to have both of you here. About Jayant, he needs no introduction in society. Jayant, coming from a zamindar family, has been a completely self-made person. His career runs over 4 decades. He's worked with TCS, Tata Group. He's worked with government. He's with NSDC. He's worked with several academic institutions across the globe and India, the top institutions in the country, also global institutions. His contribution in literature, heritage, culture, we all know. He was the one who started, he's the pioneer of Lucknow Literature Festival, and so many contributions to development of the Awadh culture. So really honored to have him here. And it doesn't stop here. He is a person who is so socially there, contributing so much, and yet a very private person. His sensitivities come from the way he has been raised by his parents. So his house was full of art, culture, and good theatre, good cinema, good literature. So his entire worldwide view, the global view he has, and the sensitivity and the depth comes from there. So really happy to have Jayant over here. Talking about Bina, Bina's contribution to the cultural part of CMS is also very well known. She comes from a very privileged family of Assam, a person with high sensibility, a person who's very well read, and she has been reaching out globally to various publication platforms for CMS and has contributed shoulder to shoulder with Jayant in all these spheres and walks of life. Bina's contributions are no less. And Bina has been playing a very pivotal role in the International Children's Film Festival, which used to run for several years in Lucknow by CMS. And she is a person who believes that consciously preserves her independence, her thinking, her reading, reflection over whatever she reads, and through marriage and through her life, she carries forwards her individuality in everything she contributes to. So really a very remarkable couple, very powerful couple, and personally I have been knowing this couple for past 30 years. It's really a privilege to have you at Two Tango.
It's a pleasure being here, Charu.
Thank you, Jayant.
Same here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Wonderful having you. Jayant, my first question is to you. That once we had a conversation and you told me that your matchmaking was initiated by your father and he used to love matchmaking. So being a matchmaker, my first question to you is, how did you meet and what made you decide for her?
So, Charu, my father was a senior manager in the public sector. My mother was a professor in economics, She taught girls at a college. And so I think my father had this innate desire to bring people together, and very often it led to matrimony, So many people in our friend circle, so many people among our relatives, he did the matchmaking, kind of a thing. So he loved that. He was essentially a people's man, kind of a thing. So as far as Bina and I go, I think... we came together through the matrimonial columns of the Times of India. And I think my father had advertised, and Bina's parents would have read it, and they came and met us in Lucknow. And so I think, and then obviously the father and mother came. Then eventually I went to Delhi. She was living in Delhi at that point of time. And, met her at Ashoka Hotel, Kanishka, which is in Lutyens, Delhi.
Yeah.
And you know what I see, I'm a handloom buff, right? And she there I saw a pretty girl in a handloom maroon color sari, and with a blouse which had glass work from Kutch, So I immediately it wasn't a love at first sight or anything like that. But I thought, yes, the sensibilities must be common because somebody patronizing handloom so well,
my God.
And then six of us met in the coffee shop. Then two of us were sent to a room where we chatted for some time. And I think next day or day after we were engaged, right? Bina? So.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So like, his, what to say, attraction was what you were wearing and how you were looking, and there was immediately a positive
Mutual admiration, perhaps.
So then I would like to know your perspective.
So as I said, it's mutual admiration. But at first sight, I thought, have we come for some kind of a meeting? Where every eye is consciously judging each other. Then I was, as my nature is, I was completely enthusiastic. Meeting, so were my parents. Meeting somebody new. Then when we were allowed to go and talk somewhere in private, the whole time I was trying to be very happy and jubilant and everything. But at the same time, there was a gentle quietness around me, and which was making me think, do we want to grow together? And yes, that half an hour of interaction I thought it was pretty playful. And then, yes, it was all over. But the good thing is that I was not very judgmental in the sense that my parents had done the due diligence. And I had complete trust on them. If they have taken me this far, I had not met anybody earlier.
He was your first choice?
This was my first
Oh my God.
meeting. So if they have taken me out, to this length, and we have come up to this much, that means they have decided. I believe them.
So you trusted your parents, you trusted the universe and your own choice that day when you met him. So
very little reservations, because if there's 50 in a 100% thing, 50% was done by my parents. 50% before meeting him. In fact, there's another thing that came up just came. I was having a conversation with my dadi. So my dadi said कि सब कुछ तो नहीं होता ना, पहली बार मिल रहे हो, अब जिंदगी देखो कैसे लेके चलती है. So that was another thing. I said, I shouldn't be judging and I shouldn't be making my everything, deciding everything. Let's take a plunge.
Wonderful, wonderful. And that day when we were talking, you told me, Bina, that your father said that the boy has a lot of potential.
Yeah, when I said about due diligence done by my parents, before they had earlier met him, and in fact, they had gone to meet them at their place in Lucknow, in their home. They did. It wasn't like let's meet in a neutral place, like how we are meeting here today, how we were meeting there in Kanishka that day. But my parents wanted to go to their home. So, and my in-laws, they graciously invited them, and they went together. So my mother's mother is also a very bubbly and carefree kind of a person. My mother's job was to just keep quiet and watch the boy. And my father, so she said कि हम तो सिर्फ शक्ल देख रहे हैं, शक्ल सूरत और सीरत देखने गए थे, तो जो कि हम चुपचाप बैठ के देख रहे थे. और my father did all the talking, and there he realized, after talking to him, he realized, yes.
For a couple of hours, I remember.
In fact,
my God, proper HR interview.
So he was the group general manager. He's a geologist, and was recruited by the Prime Minister of the country, Pandit Nehru himself. The final round happened with him.
Oh my God.
And but at that time, he was the group general manager for HR for ONGC.
Yeah.
He headed it, that function, so I'm sure he would have used all his interviewing techniques and so on and so forth.
Correct. So as a geologist, उन्होंने gem ढूंढ लिया.
That's very nicely said.
That's a nice one.
And and he said कि ये is बहुत potential है, ये बहुत आगे तक जाएंगे.
जी.
तो बस ठीक है, दोनों चीजें was taken care of.
I hope there were no regrets, right?
Absolutely not. I can vouch for it, seeing both of you. And this is a very important message to all the youngsters today, that one should not look at only what you are today, but also the potential of person. And that comes through the kind of thinking, the kind of conversations, the kind of your day-to-day routine one is having. You can really make a lot with what that person aspires to be. And I think that is the eye your father had. And moreover, you trusted him.
Yes, absolutely.
And Charu, one more thing, you don't get everything when you go for matrimony, right? It's a give and take, right? Kind of a thing. As they say, kabhi kisi ko mukammal jahan nahi milta, kahin zameen to kahin asman nahi milta. So I think, rather than disliking a person for what he or she is not, right? One should like the person for what he or she is, right? So I think that is very important, right? And for a marriage to work.
Absolutely. So Bina, my question to you is, जब आपकी शादी हो गई and दो कहीं पे भी अलग-अलग परिवार होते हैं, जब आप एक जगह, and खासकर लड़की के लिए वो एक नए परिवार में आती है and living with a boy for the first time, did you find any challenges in the initial years of marriage?
So we are different people.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But yes, the intent was the same.
Huh.
So I think that decided.
Huh.
And another little aspect to it is that before the marriage, my father again took me out for a long drive. I mean, शाम को शादी थी और दोपहर को खाना वाना जब हो गया, सब घर भरा हुआ था रिश्तेदारों से, हम और मैं और मेरे पापा दोनों गाड़ी में गए. He took me to a long drive through the Cant in Dehradun. And so this long drive was basically a father-daughter conversation, which was kind of a conversation before I'm stepping onto a different kind of a new life.
Preparing you for that.
So beautiful.
Yeah. So while we were driving, so he said कि मेरा घर का नाम है शरी. तो ये देख लो कि तुम जो हो अब दूसरे घर में जा रही हो, और तो ये दिमाग में हमेशा रखना, वो अलग घर है, अलग सेट ऑफ पीपल हैं, अलग सेट ऑफ पेरेंट्स. तुम जिस घर से जा रही हो, मानी बात है वो वैसा है नहीं. तो कॉन्स्टेंटली ये नहीं अपने दिमाग में रखना हमारे घर में तो ये होता था, यहाँ ये होता है, हमारे घर ये चीज ऐसे होती थी, यहाँ ऐसे होती है. ये कंपैरिजन कभी दिमाग में मत लाना. वो अलग यूनिट है, ये अलग यूनिट है. Now you're stepping into a new unit, might as well try absorbing the nature of that unit rather than keep on comparing and making your life miserable and our life miserable as well.
Absolutely.
Constant of phone aa raha hai, rona peetna bacha raha hai, you are very disturbed.
Absolutely.
This kind of thing should not be happen.
Absolutely.
तुमको पढ़ा लिखा के मैच्योर कर दिया है
जी,
अब अपनी जिंदगी जियो
जी.
हम और मम्मी बीच में नहीं आएंगे, तो इसलिए, और ये तभी नहीं आएंगे जब तुम इन चीजों को कंपेयर नहीं करोगी.
जी.
Now you live your life.
बहुत चारू बहुत पिक एंड चूज नहीं होता, जैसे जावेद अख्तर साहब कहते हैं कि दिस लाइफ कम्स एज अ पैकेज, राइट? A few good things, few not so good things, right? You have to accept the entire package. You can't do cherry picking that I'll take only the good things and throw out the bad things, right?
Absolutely.
So it's a package deal. Life comes as a package deal. As long as both partners have the maturity, sincerity, and a commitment to make the marriage work, right? Those differences melt away, and I think things worked out well for us as well. Yeah.
So initially, my question to you is that initially, what were the common grounds which you found to grow as a couple? Like, did you really put in an effort to make her more comfortable in your own space and your own family? Any efforts from your side? or some common things which you were pursuing together?
I think, and my mother, to my mind, played a pivotal role there.
Okay.
And, she became more of a friend of Bina,
Wow.
rather than a mother-in-law in the traditional sense.
Awesome.
And that worked out well. And while there were differences in our families,
Yeah.
and even two of us are very different people,
Yes.
But I think that our core values remain the same. And
Yeah.
that is what kept us together,
Yeah.
in the sense that, we both very family oriented, right? We both, are sincere people, right? And value commitment, kind of a thing. So while there were differences, there were a lot of things, which were which made the marriage work through the cohesion,
Yeah.
So the core values were the same, even though some of the artifacts were different in our lives, I guess that is what the basic honesty, the basic truthfulness, and people, even not cheating on each other. I think these things are very, very important, right? And so I think since the core values, the core principles were there was a huge overlap between Bina and me.
Awesome.
So I think that is what worked, despite the fact a lot of external artifacts were different, right?
This is the foundation of marriage. This is what makes the marriage work. If your core values are intact and there is integrity and loyalty towards each other, and even if sometimes there are disagreements, but at the core of the heart, you have the best of the interest of the other person.
Absolutely.
Then things will sail through. I'm very sure that is what is the power behind your success.
Yeah, and not that we've never had differences. There's the arguments and so on and so forth. Anybody who says that they are a perfect couple and ideal marriage, to my mind, they're faking it up, right?
Absolutely.
There are ups and downs, there are differences, right? But you argue it out.
Intent remains the same.
Yeah.
Intent, yes.
Yeah.
That's very important. Jayant, you have, played such high pressure roles in your professional life, starting from the leadership position. You were the regional head of TCS, and then you were the chairman of NSDC, and you have been...
I was the CEO and COO, not the chairman.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. So, all these roles I've seen in these past 30, 40 years have been very high pressure, and you have always been at the helm of affairs in a leadership role, and you have been traveling all across 70, 80 countries, and you've lived in London, you've lived here, and there have been a lot of professional and social commitments. So, how did you, take care of your family? Why? Because your son would have been growing up then. So, how did you make balance out between this high pressure life and your family?
So I think, a lot of credit goes to the Tata Group, the way, the kind of values they stood for, right? Kind of a thing. I used to burn midnight oil, work very late, kind of a thing. But, this very talk about the work-life balance, to my mind, इस बात में कुछ थोड़ी बेईमानी है. मुझे लगता है कब हमारा वर्क लाइफ जो जॉब कंपोनेंट था वो कब खत्म हुआ, कब फैमिली शुरू हुआ, कब it was such a seamless to and fro traffic between the two, kind of a thing. And especially, I started as a management consultant, उससे पहले मैं I was also in the electronics manufacturing and software. And then in TCS, I started in the management consulting division earlier, not in the IT earlier, right? So, and then eventually moved to IT and so on and so forth. I think, it came naturally. कभी-कभी होता था that, for example, my son Ujjwal, I'll observe some habit of him, of his, and I'll ask Bina, oh, just look at it. How does he do this? She'll say, oh, what's so new? I mean, he was been doing it for past a couple of years. You never had time to notice, So I think if you're happy doing, I mean, the working in Tata Group was such a happy experience, and such a fulfilling experience, right?
Wonderful.
That it blended so well. And I'll give full credit to Bina.
Yeah.
I mean, even if I'm coming past midnight, from office, she would never crib, never make it an issue, and was never very demanding that, this slice of life is only for me, I think. Yeah. So it blended beautifully, right?
Yeah. Bina, can you talk about your experience in this
as
journey?
They say, if one dreams big, the other one has to stand the ground and, to hold it firmly.
Yeah.
So I was probably doing that. So he's a dreamer. He wanted to do something, achieve something. And I was also, I mean, as a professional, I was also growing. But yes, but I liked being rooted and keeping the family together, and made a conscious decision of taking care of the family, in the sense when our son was born. I consciously decided to take a break and be with him, because there was another, he, as I said, he was a dreamer, wanted to do something, many things, and he achieved many things, kept on doing so. And I liked being a family person, because I realized I always wanted to have a child.
Okay. Okay, this is very interesting.
Yeah. So I never wanted to lose on that, in his growing up years. It so happened that we had a boy. So I didn't want to lose any of those years ki mujhe main ghar aau and the caretaker or a nanny would tell me ki aaj to aapka ladka chalne laga, aaj to Ujjwal chalne laga. No, I have to be the one who would know everything.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
yes,
That's the biggest life achievement for a mother. Yeah, watching him
I
grow.
enjoyed it. There
Yeah.
were lots of sleepless moments, difficult times, but yes, lot of
So since we are
growing up
talking
times
about
as well.
Ujjwal, I would like to know more about what he's doing currently, and कुछ जो चीजें आपने as a couple consciously उसमें इनकलकेट करने की कोशिश की होगी, एंड आई एम श्योर वो चीजें आई भी होंगी उज्जवल में. सो
I think he's he's a very sensible child, in the sense that at the home it was a very cultured upbringing that he had. A lot of reading. Our home is full of books everywhere, kind of a thing. So reading came very naturally to him. And the core values, I again come back to that. At the cost of being repetitive, I think those he inherited on its own. So we didn't have to coach him.
Yeah, we have given him both the wings and values.
Yeah.
Jay, as you have traveled so widely, both of you, and I'm sure many places your son has also traveled. So has traveling also changed your perspectives, learning, growth? Traveling का कितना role है आप लोगों की life में?
Well, yes. So, for example, I've been to some 75 countries across 6 continents. I think if Bina also would have done, 40 to 50 countries, Ujjwal too. I think a lot of, my traveling was also business travel, and, even as for holidays, we used to travel together quite a lot, kind of a thing. So I think you grow as
brings so much of smile on my face.
So you grow as a person, right? You go to different cultures, different nationalities, different ethnicities, and then you understand, you appreciate, those cultures, those people, So I think you grow as a person, right? I think, and I think one thing which our son Ujjwal did even better than us is, he's embraced globality as a value, right? He's truly a global citizen, right? Kind of a thing. While he has retained his Indian passport and Indian citizenship, but I think in thought process, he's a truly global guy, kind of a thing. So a part of it was also due to the travel, and he's lived in London and studied there for a few years. So I think it all came as things were. So I think. We had a broad contour, broad plan in our lives and career. But, it's not that every bit we'll micromanage and all that. That we didn't do. And even my career, if you look at from a hardcore corporate sector person, it took a plunge. And, I took a plunge in government, right? Kind of a thing in the skill development mission. Yeah. So I think, I used to think that in the corporate sector, I'll grow. I'll get more money. I'll get even better titles. I will, my span of control would go up. Our targets would go up, and so on and so forth. Right, kind of a thing. But how about giving back to the nation? Kind of a thing.
Correct.
वो एक कैफी आजमी साहब का एक शेर है, कोई तो सूद चुकाए, कोई तो जिम्मा ले उस इंकलाब का जो आज तक उधार सा है. So I thought, how can we give back? Fortunately, I had the comfort of the Tata Group.
जी.
I had TCS shares, so I thought I can take a risk and go and dabble into it. And so last almost 15 years of my career, if you look at, or perhaps longer, has been completely in sectors which are important for the country. The skill development mission. I had an opportunity to steer a lot of key initiatives of the Prime Minister's Skill India mission. Then I worked on reforms which can create jobs in the country. I was the first Indian group CEO of UK India Business Council. And my last full-time work was I was the founding CEO of a new non-profit called Foundation for Advancing Science and Technology, and we wanted big-ticket reforms in science and technology so that our economy becomes innovation-driven rather than just fourth largest or third largest or whatever it is, right? Kind of a thing. So I think everything which I have done, from you can say around 2006-7 onwards, has been aligned with the nation building and so on and so forth in think tanks, in philanthropies, in government and so on and so forth. And I'm happy I think I grew as a person, kind of a thing. But had I continued in TCS, while I'm sure I would have continued to add value for the company, and I also would have, earned more and so on and so forth. But I think this kind of an opportunity that I got directly contribute to the nation building process, I think it was very, very important, and it gave me a lot of happiness, because Charu, this life comes to you but for once, right? It's the choice you have to make it. You just want to drift through it, or you want to make the difference, And I decided that I'll do something which will make the difference. Even now, today, I'm helping, both corporates and non-profits, to achieve a performance breakthrough through the people, both people as individuals as well as people as teams, kind of a thing. So I work in a workshop mode. I mentor them, for almost 3 days, from 9 in the morning till 9 in the night, and it's a very transformative process. So that is what keeps me busy now, other than the work that I do for the CSIS as their senior fellow.
Yeah. So, you're so versatile. Your contributions are in so many domains, and this working as the CEO of NSDC, and working in the ecosystem of skilling and contributing in so many spheres. मैं एक बेसिक क्वेश्चन आपसे अंदर की बात जानना चाहती हूँ कि आप जहाँ पे भी जाते हैं, आप जो भी करते हैं, मैंने देखा है आप बहुत क्वालिटी काम करते हैं. आपका हॉगवॉश कहीं भी नहीं हुआ. आपने हर जगह एक्सीलेंस के साथ काम किया है, और ये सारे युवाओं के लिए और सारे प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए मैं जानना चाहती हूँ कि आपके अंदर की ड्राइविंग फोर्स या मोटिवेशन क्या है इस लेवल पे काम करने के लिए और इतने शिद्दत से काम करने के लिए.
तो चारू, ये आपने सवाल कैसा पूछा जो मेरे दिल को छू गया हर तरह से. मुझे लगता है कि मैंने जो भी लाइफ में किया है वो एक शिद्दत से किया है, एक पैशन से किया है, राइट? और हर काम में आपका, चाहे वो फैमिली लाइफ हो, चाहे वर्क लाइफ हो, एक वो रस का होना बहुत जरूरी है. So I think, I've been very, very passionate in whatever walk of life I've worked for, right? Kind of a thing. वो मैं जवाब दूं इससे अच्छा, मैं एक फैज अहमद फैज साहब का, जो मुझे बहुत ही प्रोग्रेसिव पोएट थे, उनका एक नज्म का 2-4 लाइन है. वो कहते हैं, गर उर्दू में अगर को कभी कभी गर बोलते, गरबाजी इश्क की बाजी है. और ये इश्क रोमांस वाला इश्क नहीं है, ये इश्क इज जिंदगी, पैशन फॉर समथिंग, गरबाजी इश्क की बाजी है, जो चाहे लगा दो डर कैसा, गर जीत गए तो क्या कहना, हारे भी तो बाजी मात नहीं. So I think this should be a life well traveled, right? That's very important, right? Whether you're victorious or you lose is not important, right? But you should have had the satisfaction of given your 100% to the job. Whichever walk of life I've worked for, I've always tried to give my 100% with a lot of passion. I don't take up something if I'm not passionate about it. Very, very clearly, I just don't take up. So I've never taken up a job for the sake of a job. Very, very clearly, kind of a thing. And there have been instances where I chugged a job without having something else in hand, right? Kind of a thing. But in certain crossroads पे जब life आती है, then you think that should you continue to be in the groove, or you should try something more exciting, which for which you are more passionate. So I've done it very, very. Or excellence has been, it's always been a way of life, right?
Whenever I think of anything where Jayant is, I always think that's going to be excellent.
Thank you.
That's I think everybody's perception about wherever you are.
Thank you, Charu. You're so kind.
No. So coming to Bina.
Okay.
Bina, आप अपने करियर के बारे में बताइए. आपने इंटरनेशनल चिल्ड्रंस फेस्टिवल किया है और आप इस CMS जो कि वर्ल्ड का गिनीज बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड कायम करता है इन टर्म्स ऑफ द बिगेस्ट स्कूल इन टर्म्स ऑफ नंबर ऑफ चिल्ड्रन. सो आप इतने प्रेस्टिजियस स्कूल की सीनियर एडिटर हैं एंड आपका रोल, आपकी जर्नी क्या रही है?
तो मेरी जर्नी जनरली, मैं साइंस बैकग्राउंड की हूँ, मैंने इंजीनियरिंग भी करी
जी,
पेपर टेक्नोलॉजी में
जी,
पर बीच में ही समझ में आया कि इंजीनियरिंग ये सब कोई काम की चीज़ नहीं है. मतलब अब फैक्ट्री में जाके काम करना और ये सब आई रियलाइज चल रहे हैं, तो आई रियलाइज इट टू मच ऑफ एन एफर्ट.
करेक्ट.
एंड I'm pretty ancient, you see. So while I was growing up, that is the time when the computers were introduced for the first time in the country in the 80s, late 80s rather. So I was the first from the batch of NIIT, जो कि उस जमाने में शुरू हुआ था कि हाँ कंप्यूटर सिखाएंगे, सॉफ्टवेयर सिखाएंगे,
GNIT, graduate of.
So I did that, and then I realized that yes, I mean this is very interesting thing. So I was a good programmer, and I used to write programming programs in C++ and all those were the highest operating systems in those days.
Correct.
And when after marriage, when I came to Lucknow, here I used to write for Times of India.
Okay.
I mean, I realized that I have a flair for writing also.
Correct.
And then we moved to UK for a couple of years.
जी.
So once I came back,
longer, 3-4 years.
Yeah, and I met in one of the programs. Jayant was invited by Dr. Gandhi, Jagdish Gandhi, for one of his programs, and I also went along with him. And there I was just mentioning, Gandhi was asking, we were just chatting, and I was mentioning that I used to write for Times of India. वो भी एक समय था Backbeat. I used to write for Backbeat.
Okay.
So Gandhi ji said, अच्छा आप लिख लेती हैं, तो फिर आप हमारे यहाँ पे आ जाइए. हम भी यहाँ पे हम भी एक छोटा सा फिल्म डिवीजन बनाया हम लोगों ने, अच्छी कहानियां बनाए और बच्चों को दिखाए.
क्या बात है.
It was such a simple way of saying things.
He was so simple. उन्होंने अगर उनकी भी पारखी नजर थी और उन्होंने तुरंत समझ लिया आपका पोटेंशियल.
जी. और ideas are always born in a very simple ways rather,
non-significant ways.
Absolutely, and in a very chatty and conversational style it came, and that is how the journey began. And within a year he said कि हम लोग अगर ऐसी सब छोटी-छोटी फिल्में बनाते हैं, तो अच्छी फिल्में बना के एक फिल्म अगर बनाते हैं, तो फिर यही इतनी अच्छी फिल्में बनाते हैं, तो यही फिर हम लखनऊ के लोगों को क्यों नहीं दिखाए. तो उन्होंने फिल्म फेस्टिवल की शुरुआत कर दी. सो 2009 से ये शुरुआत हुई और हम लोगों ने फिर खूब काम करना शुरू किया. हर साल, एक साल भी सिवाय कोविड के 2 साल छोड़ दीजिए, दैट वाज इन 2020 and 2021. Every year we've been consistently holding International Children's Film Festival, and I was curating it with quite a nice team of people.
आपका अभी क्या रोल है?
So now I'm supposed to do a lot of whatever the material that is getting created for various for our school. Our school is a huge big school.
जी.
तो उसके लिए तो उसका स्टैंडर्ड देखना, उसमें क्या चीज जाना चाहिए, क्या नहीं जाना चाहिए, ठीक गया कि नहीं, कितना गया, everything to do with the writing part of it.
Content creation.
So I'm more into it. But yes, Children's Film Festival is always an exciting
and her career like mine also took multiple turns, right? Started with engineering in pulp and paper technology.
Yours kind of was also into pulp and paper.
No. What I'm saying is her career also took multiple turns like mine. Kind of
course, of course.
From electronics manufacturing to management consulting to software to government work to think tanks to philanthropies. her career also started with that, then took a turn and into computers, right, into software, right, and then finally she did her masters in mass communications and
Which year did you do your masters in mass communication?
So I did it in 2013.
Wow.
Pretty late in life, and I was
but that shows
grown
your
up.
passion. That shows your passion
and it's never too late to learn.
Absolutely.
Right?
I did my 1-year management program from Exhilarai in 2009.
Wow.
So my son was in class 9th when I did it.
Correct. So it's never too late.
Yeah.
So Jayant, अगर आपकी बात करें और हम लिटरेचर की बात ना करें और कल्चर की बात ना करें तो बहुत बात अधूरी रह जाएगी, क्योंकि लखनऊ का लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल आप ही पायनियर किए थे और हजरतगंज के मैंने सुना है रूपरेखा को बदलने में भी आपका बहुत महत्वपूर्ण योगदान है. And I see you wherever there is any cultural event, you are there, and because of you it's like a crowd puller and people really I would like to know more about your love for culture, literature, art.
So Charu, you'll be surprised that none of my day jobs had anything to do with art or culture or heritage or so on and so forth, but I always loved, if I'm in a pensive mood and not too happy with myself, I'll go and sit, in one of the heritage monuments, in Lucknow, in Delhi, or whichever part of the world I am in, and just do some introspection and so on and so forth, and it gave me a lot of happiness, kind of a meaning to life I derived from there, kind of a thing. So it started from there, and as you rightly said, Hazratganj, I think 6 or 7 of us started this body and worked with the government for the conservation and urban rejuvenation of Hazratganj when this city center, this market was going to celebrate 200 years of its existence, And I still remember when it was a long journey, and one of the rarest examples of public-private partnership between citizens and a government, kind of a thing. It worked very well. I still remember India Today came up with a cover story saying a fairy tale market comes alive.
Absolutely.
And, so I think that was there. Then Literature Festival, I was the co-founder and I was the chairman of the festival and president of the body that runs it. And we did it for 4+1 years, And in those years, we had invited almost everybody who mattered in art, culture, literature, cinema in the country, And, we used to often wonder that, agle saal ke liye to koi bacha hi nahi hai, sab to ho gaye, in those 4-5 years, kind of a thing. So it's loved doing it, but then I was moving more and more time I was spending in Delhi. So I try to help. I'm in the core group of Rumi Foundation, which is a body headed by Dr. Karan Singh and with Mr. Muzaffar Ali, the filmmaker. He's the executive secretary of that body, and we do the Wajid Arisha festival here in Lucknow. We have done a few Jahane Khusros also here in Lucknow. I think there are multiple things. We ran an initiative for today's youth, today's children, they don't relate as much to culture as they ideally should be doing, So I think we started a program of school outreach and took some of the most illustrious people involved with Lucknow's, could be the history, could be the chicken curry, could be Kathak, could be Thumris, and took them to different schools, right?
I'm not aware of this.
Yeah, so and for a couple of hours in their auditorium, they engaged with the children. I used to anchor that, kind of a thing. And believe me, the principals after the school hours will give us 1 hour, but children will refuse to go. It used to go for 3.5 hours, and people were so I think somewhere if today's generation does not relate as much to the culture and heritage, the reason is also कहीं पे हम उनकी परवरिश में हम ही लोगों से कमी हो गई. जब भी हमने एफर्ट किया आउटरीच के लिए, मुझे लगता है the results have been very very outstanding, और एक मेरा ड्रीम है जो मुझे लगता है अभी आपने देखा होगा एक गैस्ट्रोनॉमी के लिए यूनेस्को का टैग मिला है लखनऊ के खान पान के लिए. मेरा एक ये ड्रीम है कि मैंने कई लोगों से शेयर भी किया है, कुछ इनिशियल वर्क भी किया है कि लखनऊ को पूरा जो हिस्टोरिक सिटी ऑफ लखनऊ है उसको यूनेस्को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट का टैग मिले. और ये बहुत लंबी जर्नी है, कोई आसान नहीं है, और सरकार के साथ मिलकर इसमें काम करने की बात है. तो ये भी इंशाल्लाह
आपका ड्रीम पूरा हो, बिल्कुल होगा, बिल्कुल होगा। आप जिस शिद्दत से लगे हुए हैं, बिल्कुल होगा।
I've been writing in newspapers about it. I've been meeting bureaucrats, trying to sensitize them, and but
wonderful, wonderful. Coming back to both of you.
और एक चीज चारू मैं आपसे बताना चाह रहा था, ये आर्ट और कल्चर हेरिटेज में आपकी एक लाइफ में कभी कभी एंकर चाहिए होता है, कहीं पे एक ठहराव की जरूरत होती है। ये चीज आपकी फास्ट पेस लाइफ में एक ठहराव लाती है और एक जिंदगी की एक दूसरा मकसद देती है बियॉन्ड योर डे जॉब, which I feel is very very important in today's.
Hearing you, what I am understanding right now, कि जो mundane of life है जिसमें हम rat race में लगे रहते हैं अपनी रोजी रोटी में, art and culture पे वही ध्यान दे पाएगा जो beyond self सोच पाएगा। That's what I feel.
और दूसरी चीज एक और मैं बोलना चाहूंगी कि हम सब जो है बहुत पढ़े लिखे हो रहे हैं
जी,
क्योंकि सारा टाइम व्हाट्सएप में पढ़ते हैं पर बच्चे लोग जो है रीडिंग पर से हम लोग भूलते जा रहे हैं, किताबें पढ़ना भूलते जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि जब किताबें आप खूब
she is far more avid a reader, voracious a reader than what I am.
मैंने बहुत कोशिश करी और ये इसका मुझे फायदा भी हुआ, वो ये कि मैंने अपने लड़के के ऊपर बहुत तवज्जो दी कि marks are not very important. What is important is that you should be reading. और यही चीज अब मैं एक हम लोग ने शुरू किया है बुक अ ट्रीट करके।
अच्छा।
उसमें वो एंड दिस बॉडी इज ग्रोइंग अप, अभी तो शुरुआत करी है यंग लेडीज लोगों से
जी,
क्योंकि वो सब भी पढ़ने से किताबें पे ही पढ़ते
जी।
जब आप एज ए मदर इफ यू आर नॉट रीडिंग बुक, how would you expect your little ones to be reading the and जैसे अभी ये कह रहे थे कि कल्चर के लिए और सब के लिए एक ठहराव लाता भी है और होना भी चाहिए रैट रेस से हटके जी। तो रैट रेस तो ये है ही है कि that you have to achieve something, you have to become something in life so that you should be reading courseware पढ़ो, marks लाओ, ठीक है, पर जनरल रीडिंग भी बहुत होनी चाहिए, किताबें बहुत बड़ी साथी होती है।
एक बहुत बड़ा रीजन ये है कि हम लोगों को स्क्रीन का जो चस्का चढ़ा है ना, टीवी या फिर मोबाइल, वो
तो अगर
उसकी वजह से भी डिजिटल की वजह से हमारी रीडिंग बहुत पीछे हो गई है।
So Charu, when I was growing up, my father and mother, they will take me to Begum Akhtar ki concert. Although that time I remember as a small child, I think the year was 1974. used to cricket की कहा ले आए, but in retrospect बिरजू महाराज साहब की performances के लिए मुशायरों में lot of these things, so I think उस परवरिश का भी एक वजह है कि मुझे इसमें इतना और घर में कुछ पढ़ने लिखने का माहौल था। ये दोनों both the parents were very educated.
फिल्में भी अगर देखने जा रहे हैं तो अगर एक तरफ धुरंधर देख रहे हैं तो दूसरी तरफ थोड़ी सी कल्चर्ड फिल्में भी देखें, थोड़ी सी जिसे कहते हैं आर्ट सिनेमा जो होती है वो सब भी देखें, पुरानी सिनेमा को थोड़ा सा निकाल के देखें। तो मतलब ना ये सब चीज़ों के लिए एज पेरेंट अगर आप लोगों में वो सब आना, हम लोगों में अगर जब तक चेंजेस और ये सब नहीं लाएंगे
तो बच्चों में हम उम्मीद नहीं कर सकते।
दूसरी जनरेशन को कैसे क्या धरोहर देंगे।
मेरे फादर थे, वो हमें कभी भी वो डिशम वाली मूवीज नहीं ले जाते थे जो हमारे साथ के सारे बच्चे देखते थे। they would treat us with all art cinema, गुलजार साहब का, श्याम बेनेगल साहब का, ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी का, और जो पूरा पैरेलल सिनेमा का मूवमेंट था वो एक एक पिक्चर हम लोग को दिखाई जाती थी। तो उस समय हम लोग सोचते थे कि ये मसाला, like we never watch Sholay, kind of a thing, because then eventually when I later in my life I asked my father that why were you doing all this kind of a cinema, even some of the Satyajit Ray's movies, Mrinal Sen's movies with subtitles, he would show. So I used to I asked him that why were you doing it, all my class friends were watching the masala movies and so on. And he said beta, that was an investment I was making in you, right? So and cinema,
very
like
thoughtful parenting, very thoughtful parenting.
So I think इन सब का एक cumulative effect कहीं पे पड़ा जिससे
बिल्कुल कुछ चीजें जहन में ऐसी चली जाती हैं जो आप सोच भी नहीं रहे होते हैं कि वो जा रही हैं, और उनका एक बहुत लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट होता है।
बिल्कुल।
So I think that, and you're truly blessed to have such parents. And whatever it is today, it's all because of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's always your parents, because लोग सोचते हैं कि I mean that school में best of the school will do miracles to your children. No, best of the schools, you are actually there only for 6 hours. Of the 24 hours, rest 18 hours, you are actually watching your parents. That you are an actual and that's another thing. I mean, I'm at the cost of being preachy. And another thing is that we try to, instead of us raising children, we let ayahs and nannies take care of the children. So don't you think the values will take a beating?
Absolutely.
You know, you are not transferring
Children are
your
very
values.
smart. See, children observe all
And
these
they
things,
learn
right?
through observation.
आप उन्हें बहुत value का ज्ञान अगर दीजिएगा, तो it will be like a rainfall on a slopey roof. कुछ stay नहीं करेगा, you know. But if your son has seen how you have taken care of your ailing parents, right, kind of a thing, तो ये सबक उसे कोई किताब या कोई प्रवचन नहीं दे सकता, right? You know, the children would watch. The importance of these things in life, right? And I had such a flourishing career in London. But after I lost my mother, and believe me, my company was willing to locate my father to London, right? He says, "Beta, I'll not be able to do because all my friends, all my circle is here." I gave him another one year that maybe he changes his mind. When he didn't, they brought me to a lesser role than what I was playing in this thing, to be here in Lucknow and look after him, kind of a thing. So I think, these things, we never had to tell our child, kind of a thing. But I'm sure if the child watches it, right, all my batchmates said that don't be a emotional fool, by coming back and, such a lucrative career. So I think, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि किस स्टेज पे आपकी लाइफ के लिए में क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है आपके,
क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है, प्रायोरिटाइज करना पड़ता है पर्सनल एंड प्रोफेशनल लाइफ दोनों में.
एग्जैक्टली.
सो इट इज टेकिंग टर्न्स, प्रोफेशनल एंड पर्सनल लाइफ में क्या प्रायोरिटाइजेशन.
और मैंने सरकार के लिए काम किया, थिंक टैंक्स के लिए काम किया, फिलैंथ्रोपीज के लिए काम किया, इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशंस के लिए काम किया. बट आई थिंक जो टाटाज ने जो वैल्यूज मैंने उनसे जो इनहेरिट करी, somehow they changed my DNA in a sense. Small चीजें होती हैं. The honesty और ये तो है ही है, वो तो उनकी बहुत बड़ी चीज है. Ethics and so on and so forth. I think simple things like austerity is not something that you should be ashamed of. It's a value, right? This I learned from them, right? Kind of a thing. And whenever you're in conflict with the business of the company and the needs of the country, you'll always align yourself with the needs of the country, right? I think these are the kind of things. So I think the most important part of my work life has been my years with the Tatas, I think, and which I value hugely. Such fine set of leaders. I've worked with the people like, Mr. F.C. Kohli, Mr. S. Ramadurai, these people are institutions, right? Kind of a thing,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's truly a privilege. Yeah. So coming back to your, ये question शायद आप लोगों से अभी तक किसी ने नहीं पूछा होगा. What is romance to you?
Candlelight dinners and, no, not really. I think romance to my mind is...
let me give you...
please do that.
So, I believe romance is more of a trust.
Okay.
Which requires less words, but lot of presence.
Okay.
So which is like, and can you build up further?
I mean, जो बात लफ्जों में अदा हो जाए वो बात ही क्या, kind of a thing. So it's lesser said and more understood. The mutuality between two partners. The husband and wife. The care and concern, I'm not saying along with that you'll never have your arguments. That's a part of everyday life, right? Kind of a thing. But underlying that, the concern, the care, and so I think that becomes romance rather than always, looking very lovey-dovey and. So we've never believed in faking marriage that we are the ideal couple. Nothing like that, kind of a thing. But standing by each other in our difficult times, I think that is
I'm asking you, I'll spend little more time on romance. So asking you, what was romance to you when you started your journey together? And what is romance to you today?
So what was it, Mills and Bones for you?
It was always Mills and Boone, and you grow up reading all those books, but again, as I said, it's more of it grows on you,
Ji.
and the very first thing that romance is about. I love myself. As a person, I love myself.
Ji.
The moment I start I get a feeling that since I love myself so much, so anything related to or near me, it naturally comes to me that it's that person is also, I love that person.
लेकिन जब जयंत आते थे ऑफिस से, तो आप क्या एफर्ट्स करती थी कि आज थोड़ा
नहीं, ऐसा looks wise definitely not. Appearance wise definitely not. But yes.
So I must tell you, अगर 12 बजे भी इनका फोन आ रहा है, she'll not ask कि कितने बजे आ रहे हो, बोले कि should I get the kitchen wound up or will you eat at home or you eat at me? And that's what she does. So ये मुझे लगता है visual symbols of romance are not very important. Right?
जी.
The hidden care and concern, to my mind, accentuates romance.
But like there is a very thin line.
And I'm that way also quite an outdoor person. Want to meet people, go out, eat out.
Yeah.
She's not as much, right?
Yeah.
But I think with over the period of time, she's also changed and kind of a thing.
Yes. Yes. But sometimes, it's not about care. Sometimes it's just holding a hand or just maybe a small gesture of smile and admiration for what you're wearing or overall some compliment coming your way.
So that comes, I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but on the spot, मुझे यही लगता है, I feel like saying that these are certain things you take it in your stride.
Yeah.
कि हाँ आज ठीक है, सब ठीक लग रहा है, बहुत अच्छा ठीक लग रहा है. अब ये नहीं कि तुम बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हो और ये.
तो इसके
रोमांस का मतलब hyperboles नहीं है. It is not that you use very lofty words, right? Kind of a thing. It is better understood than explicitly articulated.
Understood भी तो तभी होगा ना जब इधर से कुछ आ रहा होगा वैसा. ऐसे तो नहीं है कि मेरे तरफ कुछ नहीं है और दूसरा अंडरस्टैंड भी कर ले. तो वो एफर्ट तो रोमांस क्रिएट करने का has to start from one of the person, one of the spouse. So वो एफर्ट 35 साल शादी के बाद कितना जरूरी है आपके हिसाब से?
See, we may not have done too much of it, but I think it's important. As they say, if you love somebody, express it, show it, kind of a thing. Right?
So I think that is, Jayant, your takeaway from this conversation today.
Yeah. So I think we'll do that. We'll
it
start.
has already started.
So I think let's be more what do you call it, expressive about
absolutely
love.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm having really good time talking to both of you.
Me too.
Me too. I mean, we are actually saying things probably we won't have said sitting together.
Absolutely. So this is a moment where
there's so many podcasts I've done. Large number of, but never as a couple, kind of a thing. So I think it's surely a wonderful feeling.
So this brings you home as well. This podcast brings you home. Yeah. So you as a couple, and you are, now in another phase of your life where you are independently doing a lot of things. You're not bound to any particular institution, and you have your own time and own decision making of whatever you are doing. So at this juncture, and she is, still in her job, but कुछ तो common चीजें होंगी life में जो आप achieve करना चाहते होंगे as a couple. What is that you're looking forward to in life?
So, I mean, one is that, despite having traveled as much all over the world, but we still have our bucket list, which we need to complete. And that's where there's a lot of commonality. She also wants to travel the world even more than what we have done.
अच्छा.
I also want to do. So I think that's what
कहाँ जाना चाहते हैं आप लोग अभी?
Antarctica, I think I've
Okay.
not been,
Okay.
kind of a thing.
Okay.
Greenland,
Okay.
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And spend more time in Japan and South Korea and see, how their economic resurgence after the wars that they suffered happened.
Correct,
And
correct.
studied kind of a thing.
Correct,
So I think, and some of the things we've got to repeat, in
Yeah.
Venice, for example, Egypt, some of the most
Maldives.
Maldives.
Maldives, yeah.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Before,
So
before they absolutely go down in the down under in the sea. All the
because of
little
global warming,
islands.
yeah. So I think this is what we want to do. We want to spend more time with each other.
Yeah.
As in a couple of years down the line, as she also hangs her boots, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Spending more time together.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and as a tourist, yes, read. I mean, all my career, I have not been able to read as much as she does, right? Kind of
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's a huge backlog of books that I've wanted to read, I've not read.
Yeah.
I think that's what we would read. And,
What kind of reading do you prefer?
So I'm generally not too much of a fiction
Yeah.
person. Kind
Yeah.
of a thing. Little bit of fiction, a lot of non-fiction.
Biographies and motivational
That's
books and
motivational books I never read.
Okay.
They're not my cup of tea at all.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
a lot of non-fiction. On
Okay.
economics, on
Yeah.
business, and so on and so
Correct,
forth.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
I'm not a motivational book person at all.
Got it,
kind of
got
thing.
it,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Okay. So one question. Just in one word, tell me what Bina is.
Essentially a happy being, happy human being.
Jayant.
I think a self-motivated person.
Yeah. One
who,
word.
Who believes in doing things passionately.
Passion and happy.
Yeah.
That's what you are. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Passion combined with happiness.
Yes.
So good. So I have a small, quick rapid fire round for you.
Oh wow.
So
I can see you have put in a lot of efforts in bringing in highlighting us. And,
No, I mean, I must compliment you in the sense that, in the brief chat, a couple of hours that we had the other day
yeah,
at our home, I
Yeah.
think you have really translated, you and your daughter, they have really translated that in the form of some well thought out questions,
yeah. A big credit goes to Anna.
Yeah.
She was documenting it while we were having a conversation.
Correct. So thank you, Anna.
thank you, Anna.
So Dastarkhan or Tunde? What's your choice?
I've become a vegetarian,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
when I lost my mom, I decided to become a vegetarian. So
Okay.
last 22 years, I've been a vegetarian.
Okay, wonderful,
kind of a thing.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So I think then it is your choice. You tell me.
So Dastarkhan and Tunde both are good.
Yeah.
But
But we make better galati kebabs
I
at home,
think so.
kind of a thing. So when people who visit Lucknow
Yeah.
and they are mad about going to these
Yeah,
places,
yeah,
I said
yeah.
we'll feed you better stuff at home. Kind of a
Okay,
thing.
okay.
where you won't be teary-eyed, in the sense that lot of mircha, mirchi
Very
bottle.
So you're a good cook, or you have good chefs at home? What is it?
So no, I think I'm a reasonably good cook.
Wow, awesome, awesome.
And a good set of chefs at home, cooks at home.
Wow.
It's a combination, I think.
Very
that
nice.
works well
Very
for us.
nice. So who's the CEO at home?
Well, at
It
home,
depends upon
it's always the wife who's the CEO, right?
No, I would say that. It all depends upon who is in a good mood.
I think when it comes to if there is a
Yeah.
dinner at home, what gets cooked, who she will decide. Who are the people to be
very
invited? I will. It's a
Okay.
demarcated territory.
Acha.
Investments,
Ah.
generally, I will decide.
Correct.
She falls in line.
Yeah.
Those are the different areas of this
Yeah.
thing. Holidays, we generally decide together,
Okay.
kind of a thing.
Okay.
Reading, I think bulk of it she decides,
Okay.
kind of a thing. And so I think it's a compartmentalized CEO-ship that we do at home, kind of a thing.
And who gives the olive leaf once there is a tiff? Who?
Always me.
Oh,
so
sweet.
No, I would say that because why the olive leaf? Because I generally calm down. let time and thing takes its own beating. And then, yes, then he would come dangling the olive leaf and then he would take away the credit. Somebody has to stop somewhere.
Okay. My next question to you is one habit of your spouse which you love.
His sincerity,
Okay. You?
which I can trust.
Yeah.
I think her habit, if you ask me, her passion for reading books, I think that I really admire.
Okay. Okay. And what have you adjusted to?
Each
the laundry list is long.
Exactly.
Can we have just the first one out of that list?
I think
See, I am a handloom buff, right?
Okay.
Any part of the country I'll go, I'll pick up a lot of handloom
That
stuff
I've seen,
and so on
I've
and so
seen.
forth,
Yeah, I can
kind
vouch
of a
for
thing.
it. Yeah.
And, so at any point of time, there's a lot of stuff that keeps lying, which she's never tried on herself, right?
Oh.
So that is one area
But
where
very,
I
very sweet sweet adjustment.
even do a little bit of designing for her, but so I think she's not a very dressing up well doesn't come very naturally to her.
Okay.
It's quite an effort and kind of a thing.
Okay.
So that is one area I thought.
Okay. You?
So for me, it's again like everybody else that be appreciative of your own home, which I keep it
बहुत
as
सुंदर
nicely
घर है
as
आपका,
possible.
बहुत खूबसूरत
So
घर है
and be
आपका,
appreciative of that.
बहुत सुंदर घर है आपका, touch wood.
So
Okay.
if for 2 days we don't have an invite from a friend for a dinner and all that,
Yeah.
I feel very restless. She feels very happy. She says, "Oh, कहीं जाना नहीं है आज शाम को बहुत अच्छा है."
अच्छा.
And I'll be fretting and fuming as if I have no customers left.
He's totally a people's person in that way, his own
And,
circle, people. He loves to meet.
Loves to meet,
And you want your me time. I think that's the difference. Yeah. You want that cooling period.
even on our anniversary, I have to negotiate to take her out for a meal. Kind of, or on her birthday, I really have to negotiate. Kind of.
And for me, it is like go east or west. Home is the best.
Yeah. No
Why?
doubt about it. Okay, who wakes up early in the morning?
So this is
I think
always
it changes.
me, I think.
Generally,
Okay.
she,
Okay.
kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And who's a better bargainer? Handloom mein?
Oh,
Huh? You?
Bargaining is his
it
forte.
comes so natural to me.
Completely.
तो उसकी कोई टिप दीजिए.
But wherever there are middlemen, I bargain. Whenever I see a weaver or artisan himself or herself is selling something, I don't bargain.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And who remembers the anniversaries without the calendar?
Our anniversary, somebody else's.
Anniversaries, birthdays in general.
Of friends and relatives. I think she remembers.
Okay. And
I don't remember any anniversary or birthdays except ours.
Okay. And when is that?
16th of March is
Your birthday?
in 91. No, when we got married.
16th
of October is
October.
And 16th of March is his birthday.
birthday. Yes.
And
And your birthday?
So I'm 21st May.
May. Okay, wonderful. So, and your favorite country which you have visited so far?
So country and continent. The last time I had visited is Australia.
Yeah.
And I think it's an amazing country.
Okay.
Amazing in the sense both in terms of flora and fauna and in terms of food.
Acha.
We have been to almost every continent.
Yes.
But I find Australia is the best. Go
Really?
and explore for yourself, Charu. You will like it.
Which part of Australia are you talking to?
So Australia, not as city as such, because I saw mostly cities really confined to the
the Melbournes and Sydneys.
Melbourne,
but we have done even more, and it's a beautiful country, and the way they have preserved their flora and fauna, that if you are a person who is passionate about history, probably you will go and live, be there, and then you can visualize how our earth probably was when
formed in the gestation period, or
and how it was, rather than what you have read, and you can actually experience it there.
Really? Okay.
It's a beautiful country.
Is that for you as well?
No. I think a favorite destination, Egypt. Somehow I have a lot of fascination for.
That is actually
because you get a feeling as if come back, so many, centuries,
centuries back. Yes.
civilizations back, and कभी कभी लगता है समय ठहर गया हो वहाँ पे.
जी
ऐसा आभास होता है.
अच्छा अच्छा. सो आज के जो युवा हैं, जो यंग लोग हैं, जो शादी करना चाहते हैं या शादीशुदा हैं, उनके लिए आपके पास कोई मैसेज है?
See, some people say that marriage as an institution has outlived its utility, right? You hear this, right? But we don't believe in that, right?
Yes.
I think marriage is all about togetherness, about caring and sharing a life together, kind of a thing. So, and it's not that in the marriage you will not have ups and downs. You will have, right, kind of a thing. But there are a lot of solid reasons to hold together, to be together. And become a good companion to each other. I think that's very, very important to my mind. So I believe the institution of marriage, instead of people losing faith in it, it needs to be strengthened more, because it's a wonderful institution, and it should be respected, to my mind.
Thank you, Jayant. Bina, your take on this?
So again, I stand by what all he has said, and yes, one should respect marriage because relationship matter, and in the whole world you should have at least one, a friend, a companion, and why not, you always have one, so why not try to have one in the as a husband and your spouse.
Yes.
And there's an institution called marriage is bringing you together and holding you. Hold on to it.
So I'll hold you accountable for what you've said, Bina.
I always believed in it. That's the reason we are together. Even after so many ups and downs.
So marriage is a dance and it takes two to tango. So this is very clear from Jayant and Bina today. I'm so thankful that they are here to give you the right insight about what married life is all about and what you can make of it. Thank you, everyone.